Hello, and welcome back to Preserving the Fleet. My name is Paul Scalabroni. I'm a volunteer here at Battleship Cove and currently on the Joseph P. Kennedy. We're back in the steam serving line down on the mess decks. Those who watch our videos might have known that this space was pretty much done and ready, but we didn't like the condition of the deck repairs that were done, so one of our volunteers decided to redo it. So if you look down on the deck, we actually pretty much replated most of the areas you're going to walk in, because they were spot patched, kind of like you see over here, where there's just a few squares that were cut, but the ones that were there weren't completely welded around and they weren't symmetrical to each other, so it just didn't look right. So we basically got brand new steel and cut it all the way down the entire length of the compartment, the ladderway. So this whole deck now is properly sealed, it's properly patched, and now we just have to go back in, repaint, and then this space will be pretty much ready to be open. We covered all the equipment so we don't get dust everywhere, because welding is a messy job. But we're pretty much ready to get this reopened with the main mess deck area, which we're going to walk into in a second here, because we're just about ready with the metal work in there too. So we'll head forward and we'll show you the last few steps we have going on in here. Because this is a compartment that you're very familiar with if you watch our videos, but we had to do a few of the final steps where these cover plates are for the false bulkhead. There was some angled uprights that held it in place, and some of them got removed because we had to put a whole new piece of steel upright in. So today we had those welded back in, and now we're pretty much getting ready to fit and put the cover plates back in and rivet it, so the false bulkhead will be complete. And then everything in this deck, metal-wise, will be done. And we're going to have another volunteer come through here and finish prepping all the steel so we can put a coat of paint down and epoxy paint for durability, because it's going to be a high-traffic area when you walk through this part of the ship. And then hopefully by the spring season, this area will be completely open to the public again, and you'll be able to come down here and see all the efforts that we've done to bring this area back to you. Okay, another project we had going on here was a lot of the mattresses that go on the bunks in officers' country and other places of the ship. We had two kinds of mattresses. These ones with the blue stripes were actually the original Navy-style mattresses from the 60s and 70s. These ones obviously are much more modern, so these mattresses we're getting rid of. They were stored down lower in the ship and they're not needed anymore, and they've kind of gone way past it for usability. These aren't really going to be used for being slept on. They're just going to be part of the exhibits when we restore the officers' country next year. When that project goes underway, once it's all restored, these will go back in the racks we put back in that area of the ship. So we'll put them, dress them up, they'll be back on display. It's just a lot of the stuff sits in the bottom of the ship and you forget about it. So now we're pulling it all out and then sorting through it. And what doesn't need to be on the ship anymore is going to get disposed of. What does need to be on the ship is going to get preserved and put into safer areas, so it's not going to degrade and get into a worse condition than it already is. Alrighty, we're here in the laundry room on Kennedy, and another project that we have going on is the repair of the deck on the starboard side of the ship here. What's happened, unfortunately, is the expansion joint is right above us, and the cover plates on it were missing, so water has been leaking down into this compartment for many years, and because of the angle of the deck, it collects on the starboard side here and pretty much started wasting through the bulkhead and made a hole in the deck here. So we had to get that fixed because it's obviously causing water ingress in the ship, and it gets down into the engine rooms and causes other issues. So we got crews on board that are fabricating the replacement plates, and they already welded the outside plate, so we'll get all that down, the deck sealed. And we also have the expansion joints up above sealed now with brand new cover plates going on them, so water can't get down into this space anymore, so the deck can't rot away again, but it'll also be repaired, so then we can finally give this room a nice coat of paint, clean it up, and make the laundry room look like it should as a proper laundry room again, and not just, unfortunately, a rusty area on the ship that we kept dark because we didn't want to show it off. So this is the work they did on the outside bulkhead of the laundry room. The water had gotten down and rotted out from the inside and then blew out the bulkhead to the outside. All right, and one of the major projects we've undertaken on the Kennedy is to get the heat and steam system back running on the ship. Historically, Kennedy's always had heat because we used to have overnights on board, but since COVID happened, the system didn't need to be run and it wasn't maintained, so it kind of fell by the wayside. So we had 2 brand new boilers put in last year with an option for a third that we're debating putting in. And we're running the heat in the ship again back to the coils, and there's 3 blower stations down the main deck, so we can actually keep the ship heated, because we just spent a lot of money getting the ship painted this year. So we have to maintain the temperature, otherwise the paint's going to crack, peel, bubble off the bulkheads like paint does when the ship expands and contracts. Being in New England, we get way cold up here in the winter, and then obviously hot in the summer, so that takes its toll on paint jobs and things like that. But John St. Laurent is pretty much the person that installed all the equipment, got it all up to snuff, and we're able to run it now. And we'll go down a few spots on the ship. We have Alex actually putting in modern thermostats and a few other safety features, so we can keep the ship maintained well and also be able to adjust the temperature on our phones, because it's all modern thermostats. We don't have to actually come to the ship and adjust it if something's wrong. So we'll go over to Alex now and we'll see what he's doing. All right, so we're a little far forward from the boiler room now, and we have Alex here who's going to be upgrading the thermostats and getting more modern equipment on the system, because what we had was really old. So we'll have Alex explain a little bit in detail what he's doing.
Well, we're installing a new thermostat, which is right here. It's a modern thermostat like you find in your home. And we're tying it in with, run a new wire up to our aquastat, connect it in to the transformer, and that will go back to our thermostat and hopefully make it work like it should.
Yeah, and modernize the system so we're not running it back in 1960s technology. We can actually use our phones to adjust it and do what we need to do. Alrighty, so we'd like to thank you for joining us here for our quick November update on what's been going on the Joseph P. Kennedy here. Hopefully you get updated on some of the projects we have going on and some of the ones that are ongoing going into this winter, and then hopefully into the spring we'll have a lot more updates coming. Like usual, we'd like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to our videos. If you like what you see and you want to get involved down here, go to our website, fill out a volunteer application form, and you can come down and do all the work that you see that we have going on, chip in and get involved. If you can't physically get involved, but you still want to, then we also accept donations on the website, material, money, anything that you can do to help us keeps these ships going. And we'd like to thank you for joining us. I'm Paul Scalabroni, volunteer here for the Joseph P. Kennedy and Battleship Cove in general, and we'll catch you next time.